Hey, H2O here with an update to the Poison Righteous Fire build that I played through the set contest and kind of give an update, and then really kind of this is the final part of the build and kind of where I'm just gonna leave it here. I did mention that kind of what I was working on with Bone Golem was just complete server lag, and I did find one way to kind of go around that to basically take down Ubberoth. So I have a little bit different gear for that. But honestly, the build is so powerful you don't even really need gear at this point. And whether again its interaction is not, I don't think it's going to stick around into the future just because of the havoc it's kind of really putting on the server, as well as just in general. It's probably way too powerful for how easy it is and how well it performs, even if they kind of put some cap on some of the penance or even a cap on the bone golem interaction with Spine of Malatros. So for the Poison Righteous Fire, it really is the same thing as before. And then this is just the update to how I took down Ubberoth with kind of a variant of this build. So if you don't know, there's a Whipper, a Flame Whip build out there that Antens and has worked on. You've probably seen Dread kind of showcase it. And during the contest, another person, I think it's Patu Lafu is his name, worked on a self penance build. And I've been working kind of just with other people in the community and Valinov specifically, just to kind of fine tune what this like poison whipper lock, like the penance Hentai-Lock as I'm calling it, kind of builds can work upon. And really what it does is it uses the very similar build concept for like the whipper lock. The only difference is that it is going to be taking the poison convert node here. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we are already gaining a ton of poison chance from our bone golem. So the way that this, let's do it. What this build does is a very similar concept to the whipper lock. It's kind of the same bones of that build, but with kind of some more exceptions based upon kind of the whole penance interactions. So the Chthonic Fissure is very similar to what you may have seen in a build like that. The difference here is that we are going to convert to poison because we're doing increasing our poison chance instead of increasing our ignite chance. So through this node we convert basically to poison, which also converts this Pyro Chasm node and Fissure of Wrath. So we are getting flat spell damage per 2% poison chance, and then stun chance per 2% poison chance. And then we basically are going to scale this, like I said, through the roof with Bone Golem interaction, which I'll get to in a second. But it's pretty much the same concept here. We have the whole crit, like unlimited crit chance, along with acid skin, and then like I said, the spell damage here. We do use the Sunderer's Domain because we can use 3 fissures because we don't have to worry about mana issues, which we'll get to with Soul Feast as well. So very standard, like Chthonic Fissure with the whole Malatros Whip interaction. And how we're scaling that is through Penance with Bone Golem. So this is the whole concept of the build is the infected remains. It's poison chance per stack, and it's a 10% chance basically when the bone golem is hit. So we have 2 bone golems. When it gets hit, it has a chance to retaliate and a higher chance to retaliate with bone hail. And then we increase its armor and health to keep it alive for as long as possible. So the way that penance works is when you hit an enemy, basically then you get hit with the Penance brand. So we're going to use um, the Bone Curse aura applying Penance. So we're going to put Penance on ourselves, and we're going to put Penance on our minions through the Merciless node here. So our minions, being Bone Golem, now has Penance. So when it hits an enemy, it receives the hit from Penance, and that's going to scale this poison chance. So it gets hit from Penance. Bone Golem also, when it is hit, retaliates. So it's going to attack, retaliate. It's going to attack, hit the enemy, take a hit from Penance, which is going to hit the retaliate, which is going to hit the enemy, which is going to then hit the Bone Golem. And you can see this basically the self loop. And then we also have Bone Curse hitting as well, the Bone Golem. And the way this also works is too, when the Bone Golem hits, it is proccing your Penance, so then you're also getting hit. So both of you are getting hit, hundreds of times, basically a second, just because of this whole basically golem loop that's going on. So that's why we can scale this to like 20, 30,000 poison chance, which is going to, scale this Chthonic Fissure node to like 2,500 flat, like spell damage, and like, what is that, 10,000 stun chance it can go up to. So we're basically going to stun lock Ubberoth outside of his invulnerability phases. So we got Chthonic Fissure doing our damage, Bone Golem scaling our damage, the Bone Curse, which is going to give us the reason to do all this. And then we come to some of our defensive layers. So Aura of Decay is going to basically be our defensive layer, because it allows us to interact with Soul Feast, because anytime you get hit, you have this 4% chance, and then scaling 10% on each fail. Like I said, we're going to hit 100 times a second, so it is going to be going off all the time. And Soul Feast gives us ward and mana when you hit rare or bosses. This is unlimited mana because it's 6 mana, but we're going to hit 100 times, like I said, a second. It's basically unlimited mana, and it does damage, applies poisons, applies dams, and then, like I said, just more ward. So we're going to utilize Soul Feast along with Aura of Decay just to scale some of our poison damage. And then a side note with the whole Righteous Fire part, like I mentioned, this is where you could snapshot Aura of Decay if you really want to. I don't find it all that interesting, but if you really want that whole Righteous Fire, like just zooming through the map, you can just go into like a boss map, throw Bone Golem at it. It scales 20,000 poison chance, and then turn on your Aura of Decay, which is going to snapshot it, and then you can just run through continuous monoliths, having that poison snapshotted. So the gear for this build is very similar to kind of some of the earlier Penance kind of builds with Aura. The Aura of Decay Righteous Fire that I was working on, it's kind of a combination of some of that gear. Like I said, the Spina Malatros, we're using the whole interaction with the Flame Whips to basically stun lock bosses. Mantle of the Pale Ox is great for just defenses because we have Bone Golems out all the time. And then really everything is going to be increased minion health just to keep those Bone Golems alive. The longer they're alive, the more hits they take, which again increases our poison chance. Same thing with the helmet, going for that minion armor to reduce the damage you take, increase minion health. We have to use the Pearls of the Swine for the Penance interaction. Again, minion health, some resistances. Belt, minion health, minion regen. And then really, I think the Relic has minion health and some crit strength multiplier. But these rings are the same rings I used in the Righteous Fire contest, so it's really like, these are inconsequential. They do almost nothing. We don't even need mana regen because we have unlimited mana from basically the Soul Feast interaction. But this is great for just keeping your Bone Curse aura up while you're not hitting anything. But I just didn't replace them. Same with gloves. It's just damage over time and area. These aren't like, again, just resistances for to cap us. Fissure is the whips themselves still do fire damage, so we can use Throne of Ambition for, again, another more multiplier. And then really our idols here are just covering our resistances and then having the chance to gain ward when hit. Again, we get hit 100 times a second. We get tons of ward from all of these idols. And then lastly, the 10% chance to cast Poison Nova when hit. So it's basically just tons and tons of Poison Novas going off all around you, which is scaled as well. It has like 125% effectiveness. So we can just put tons and tons more poisons on, really any boss that's standing next to us. So that's really just kind of the build update. The passives I'll show them here, but there really is nothing new. I did add in Necromancer some more minion health, again, just to keep the bone golems alive. And then I used the Lich interaction here with health leech is into increased damage, and then throwing that melee leech on the spine of Malatros just to give increased damage across the board. And then really the Warlock is pretty much the same that you've may have seen in other similar like spine of Malatros builds, along with just some differences for basically poison and defensives. So that is the build kind of in a nutshell. Go ahead and leave some comments if you guys have any questions about Penance. I've done tons and tons of testing with Penance and its interactions. Really the most notably thing is you want to make sure your Bone Curse aura is not always on top of the Bone Golem, otherwise you'll lag the server. So I like to do like drive-bys basically with Bone Curse. Run up to it, put Penance on it from the aura, and then walk away. If you stay too long, that whole self loop is going to cause major server lag. So that's the best route I found, basically along not having the server crash on you. I've also heard that Anguish is causing some of the lag on the server, so you can try taking these two off your build because Anguish is going to trigger every time you hit a boss or rare enemy, which is tons and tons of times a second. So if you're not having issues, leave this because this is tons of damage. If not, you can try taking it off and see how it goes. But other than that, that's it. See you.